Nurses Association plans to withdraw labor. Kikori landowners still calling for equity payment. And a closer look on Napanapa land project.
This is National EMTV News with Dennis Orere.
Good evening and welcome. This is Sunday's news. The Electoral Commission has revealed that there have been over 100 election petitions after the previous general elections. Electoral Commissioner Simon Sinai says plans are underway to ensure election petitions are avoided after the 2022 national elections. The Electoral Commissioner was doing his presentation on election preparations during a seminar at the National Research Institute recently.
Speaking to stakeholders during a seminar at the National Research Institute, the Electoral Commissioner says the Electoral Commission has seen many election petitions. For the 2012 elections, there have been over 100 petitions and 79 petitions for the 2017 general elections, with one petition for the recent Mosby Northwest by-election. Most of these petitions have been thrown out.
All of those petitions, especially with the Electoral Commission, we term it as errors and omissions. Errors and omissions of the whole entire process. So the police, you are right in saying that, but we are not being accused of all of those. When you see the going to court with the lawyers, and I see they all throw all those petitions out at the competency level.
With most of these election petitions thrown out of court, few petitions have been successful. The Electoral Commissioner says most of these petitions are personal attacks or conflict of interest. While there are plans to avoid election petitions, these are personal choice and it is their right.
The legal framework and some of those narration are included in there to control the petitioning. But then we also see that there is the rights of the person who is aggrieved to any of the processes that is produced, especially with the election result. They can still go to court to manage that.
The Electoral Commissioner further adding that the Electoral Commission has been faced with funding challenges. However, a 40 million kina funding has been made for the update of the common draw last month. Sinai says with the limited time and funding challenges, they will continue to ensure these issues are managed.
These are situations we got to manage. I think COVID-19 is killing everyone out there and everywhere, and so they are forcing us into this situation, so let's try to manage. So I, as a manager, trying to manage within the time resources available to manage all those issues.
Rayon Lakingu, National EMTV News.
The Papua New Guinea Nurses Association has threatened to withdraw all labor if their outstanding issues are not addressed by relevant government agencies. National President Frederick Kebai told the media this afternoon that this is due to their failure to implement the 2021 to 2023 Nurses Awards on Pay 19 this year. The Industrial Registrar and the state have also been informed of their proposed actions through separate letters. The implementing agencies have been asked to respond to their letters within 2 weeks. The nurses are planning to withdraw all labor on the 8th of November if outstanding issues are not addressed.
We have signed this award on August 2020 last year, and it took us nearly a year now, and it's taking too long. Apart from signing, we have conducted 4 regional workshops, orientation workshops, for it to be fully implemented. And we have done the right thing at the end of last year. Apart from that, we have been having consultative meeting with DPM and Finance Department to configure the award, look for money and pay the award. But at this time, it is not yet implemented. And our 4,000 plus members in all health facilities throughout the rural and urban centers have called upon us to call on the government to immediately implement this award next fortnight. Failure to implement the nurses throughout the country will walk off on the 8th of this month, and it will be next week. And I would like to appeal to the government. Yes, we would like to acknowledge them again for what they've been doing for us. But it is their responsibility now to do the right thing.
Suspended Simbu Provincial Administrator Michael Temai has been urged to turn up at the provincial headquarters in Kundiawa and pick up his disciplinary charges and respond within 14 days. In a statement, Simbu Governor Michael Dua said the ultimatum was issued last Friday. Governor Dua said this follows an investigation sanctioned by the National Executive Council. NEC also directed the Department of Personnel Management to liaise with the Simbu provincial government and prepare the charges for Mr. Temai. Governor Dua said upon the completion of the investigation, there is credible evidence and the former PA needs to respond. Governor Dua also called on Mr. Temai to collect the prepared charges in person. The Zionzil Christian Academy held its formal graduation on Friday, where it saw the 6th batch of grade 8s, 4th batch of grade 10s and grade 12s graduate. This is the first time for the Academy to produce grade 12 students who are the pioneers of the Institute. Jamie Harrow reports.
We pray. Amen.
The Zionzil Christian Academy saw its pioneer grade 12s graduate on Friday. This comes straight after the completion of the grade 8's national examinations on Thursday. Due to COVID-19, the Academy hosted the graduation of the 6 batches of grade 8s, 4th batches of grade 10s and pioneer grade 12s who officially graduated. The establishment of the institution was just an idea to nurture kindergarten students right through, which has produced their first ever grade 12 students. According to Zionzil's principal, Jonathan Kapak, their vision was to take children out of the parents' arms at a young age and take them through to grade 12, which became a reality on Friday.
The vision of this school was to take children out of their mother's arms at the age of 4 and take them through to grade 12. And this year, Zionzil has achieved its vision by having the pioneer grade 12 here with us to graduate. I would like to thank the parents and guardians who are here today. Thank you so much for the support that you have put towards our children to be educated. And your commitments and support have not been wasted. And here we see our students seated to be graduated. And this is what we want to see.
Also present as keynote speaker was University of Goroka's Chancellor, Joe Wemin, who encouraged the graduating classes as they embark on the next phase of their education.
You have to inspire yourself. You have to have a dream. But don't dream and expect the manna to fall down from heaven. Don't pray and say, Father God, bless me, I want to get A. For God is not a God of biases. He will not give you hay if you don't study hard. You will not ask God to bless a garden if you don't work. For God says, your dreams must be realized through many activities, meaning you have to work hard for your dream. Dreams are things that you don't see today, but it's a hope for tomorrow. You envision that in your mind. You are seeing something clearly. You want to go in that direction. You have a mental picture of what you want to do and how you want things to be.
Apart from the graduation ceremony, a full scholarship provided by the International Training Institute was awarded to the grade 12 dogs of the Academy. According to the ITI representative Rose Seni, this is the first engagement of the Academy with ITI. The scholarship was awarded to Moses Jalina as the top student of the school.
As part of our social obligation to the country, we are giving scholarship. Every year, ITI is committed to give 300,000 kina worth of scholarship. And starting this year, your school will be a recipient of that scholarship. Okay, the ITI scholar for next year, please come up and receive your award. Moses Jalina.
Jamie Harrow, National EMTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. A closer look into the Napanapa land project is up next. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The Napanapa government, through the Ministry and Department of Lands and Physical Planning, is aiming to convert customary land in Papua New Guinea into creating secure, bankable state leases, particularly for development purposes. Landowners in Roku Village, Central Province, just next to the Napanapa oil refinery, are the first beneficiaries under a pilot project to secure state leases. The pilot project was finally launched this week after a 10-year process, with Prime Minister James Marape and Minister for Lands and Physical Planning John Rosso officiating. During the 2019 National Land Summit, there was an overwhelming call for the review of all laws dealing with the customary land tenure, with the view to either amend or repeal these laws. The Marape government has responded to the desire for changes to the laws and administration systems and processes dealing with customary land tenure by accepting the 2019 National Land Summit outcomes and establishing the National Land Development Program Phase 2 to oversee the implementation of the National Land Summit 2019 resolutions.
The 462,000 square kilometers of land in what is now the territory or nation of Papua New Guinea, 97% of the land remains in the hands of customary landowners. And so mobilizing these customary landowners in a proper direction to ensure the land harnesses wealth for them, not just wealth in its present form, but more importantly, liquidifying the values of the land to actual cash in a modern cash economy is important. And that is why my government, number one, entrenches that land remains with the people. No customary land will be alienated forever.
Located only a few miles westwards from Port Moresby Harbour is a village called Roku, a landowner beneficiary of the Napanapa oil refinery and spin-off benefits from other resource projects in the area, such as the PNG LNG project. Despite of its geographical location on the outskirts of Port Moresby City and being in the vicinity of resource projects, it has been usual village life for its populace, with some subsistence farming and fishing. But most have become part of the city's cash economy that they have to earn an income for sustenance somehow. Some have various jobs in the city, whilst others do small business in many different forms. This is also the case for many communities around the rest of the country. About 10 years ago, chairman of the local landowner company Inogo Gabe and his fellow like-minded leaders at the time had a vision. This was to tap into what the government was doing through the Lands Department regarding getting land titles for customary land around the country, which is about 97% of PNG land, with the aim of avoiding incidences of people giving customary land away cheaply. It's been a long wait with lodging of various documents and meeting requirements with the help of Lands and Physical Planning Department officers, but it finally paid off on Thursday this week as Prime Minister James Marape and a delegation of government officials went to Roku Village to launch the Napanapa pilot project, a first of its kind in the country and paving the way forward.
You now have a secure title under existing laws of our land, and the title will be passed back to you. What it was your traditional land, you converted into proper, arranged, titled, registered in the government system, but the title passed back to you.
This concept here is partly to protect indigenous landowners who want to invest and go into business, like our people here at Roku, and they've just converted 585 hectares of the land from traditional land.
The actual work on this land extends even further.
just briefly, initially, this land was, ISABL title was issued. But the aggrieved landowners, which I believe are the Kikori land group, went to court disputing the ISABL title. And the court upheld the submission and nullified the ISABL title, and then the land reverted back to the initial status quo as the customary land. And then the process of having it converted into a state lease began.
PM Marape announced the granting of 2 state leases over portions 4248 and 2948 to 2 companies with landowner interests to the Kurius of Roku Village, Central Province, as part of the Napanapa pilot project launching.
$585 hectares of land that should translate into 4,000 allotments, subdivisions that are divided into 4,000 sort of addresses in your land.
The Napanapa pilot project aims to create secure, bankable state leases through the conversion of customary land using existing laws that empower and put the customary landowners as the drivers of development on their land in partnership with the state and partner developers, underpinned by a win-win outcome for all parties involved.
Now, if I want to sell, Mr. Chairman, and I'm looking at you, because you beat many who just sold their bed rights for a piece of plate, like Esau did in Bible times. That 4,000 allotments or different titles that will be subdivided and transferred back to you for you to do business with. If I am building a house valued at 500,000 kina on current average prices in Port Moresby, Mr. Chairman, you would have built to the tune of 2 billion kina asset.
The NPP land covers customary land divided between Central Province, that's portion 2948, and the National Capital District for portion 4248. The intention for the NPP is to develop a satellite town on the consolidated land area of 585 hectares. Portion 4248, which is within NCD, was partially developed with a functioning port, the second biggest port in the nation's capital, being the AES port, along with commercial and light industrial activities such as laydown, logistics center, and related business activities.
So by doing that, they have now partnered with developers, and they have secured as a partner, not as a selling it outright, as a partner, they've now secured their rights for 99-year lease, and also in perpetuity that they partner with the developers to ensure the land is developed appropriately, that they get good income from it, they protect it for the grandchildren, they will have medical centers built here, they will have, they'll participate in economic and spin-off businesses, and as an owner, not as an observer.
NPP is a pilot project that brings together customary landowners and developers to create a new master plan community in Port Moresby. The project is designed to bring economic benefits to communities in PNG. The landowners provide land for development, and the developers bring experience, capital, and turnkey delivery of trunk infrastructure and buildings.
At the same time, they're protected from dubious people who want to take advantage of their land here, and also from squatters who might want to infringe on their rights and just squat on the traditional lands here, and also protected from their own clan members subdividing and selling the land at a small paltry amount, like 5 grand or 10 grand for a block of land, and not properly physically done. So those are the risks and benefits that the indigenous landowners have.
So that's why, as the Department of Land and my team, and we are satisfied in how the process that was involved. So we made sure there was no breach of any laws, like the Survey Act, the Valuation Act, the Physical Planning Act, the Land Act. So that's why
there was this provision there, but it was rarely used. We just had the minister saying Section 10 of the Land Act, subsection 2, where the state can go and, by agreement, acquire the land from the customary landowners with their consent or agreement and reissue the title back to them.
This concept is a pilot project, but it will turn into as 4,000 houses minimum being built here, some industrial land being freed up also, and the landowners stand to benefit as an equal participant with the developers in all these developments through the trust company. So it's a big bonus. The advantage is that the investment here will be to the tune of nearly 2 billion minimum.
This is a pilot project that stands to provide a working template that can be translated to other parts of the country.
Olman salim ground of 5,000 or 10,000 you may look at plenty urban area blue me in all hospital so lane sample have. Please you blast stop. You blast salim 5 grand one giraunia. I'm goal get now you don't ask him back. Tomorrow blue you ask him. You think the KK lomonia now that's all. Now you lose him all get the inherent rights blue. You sell him companies on Ablaman. So tomorrow blue now picking blue behind all on a more you got one any legal standing law this la ground. Behind him example of the line blue me now lo roko all walk him yeah. Walk him good, come approach him land department, mipla halbe mipla, convert him state lease. It's a slow process, but this is the pilot project. They waited nearly 7 years for it to happen. But now we got rock solid title, all got a bank line, he come now, this is something. But it's true vision blow of a ground.
And so the landowner company chairman is so happy that his vision is finally heading towards success and prosperity for future generations.
I'm very, very proud because it's been going on since my father's day, way back to 77 years. Until now, father's gone and we still struggle until 10 years and we achieve what we want. This title it means we will cater for everybody in this village. Children's education, everything. We will cater for it.
And it was also fitting for the young generation of today to celebrate the grand occasion as they prepare for the future. You're watching MTV News. Trukai Sports is next. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. It was a dream of the late PNG boxing champion Martin Benny that the country would one day produce a world champion. Unfortunately, Benny passed away before seeing his dream fulfilled. The challenge has now been taken up by PNG Boxing Council Interim President Ben Micah.
PNG Boxing Council Interim President Ben Micah laid down the challenge to current and future generations of PNG fighters to take the sport to new heights by producing a world champion. Micah made these remarks as he informed the gathered fighters of the passing of PNG boxing icon Martin Benny earlier this week.
And the challenge now is Tapula Yupla. All amateur boxers, is Tapula Yupla, all professional boxers. I am so happy and proud to see the way you have fought today. The sport of boxing, the determination of the fighters now and in generation and years to come must continue. It must live on in our minds, in our hearts, until we see the day when 1, 2, or 3 fulfill the prophecy of our champion, that one of you will become a world champion.
Micah also announced that boxing authorities will be bringing in trainers and coaches from Cuba to help raise the standard of local fighters with the hope of producing a future world champion.
We are going to bring trainers and coaches from Cuba. Cuba made the Philippines become what it is today. Cuba is the leading amateur boxing country in the world. And I promise to you, and I commit myself to you, that the Cubans will come and shape up whatever you already have. The strength, the ability, and whatever you already have. We will bring these top coaches and trainers to come, not only from Cuba, but Philippines, Australia, wherever, so that you may by live him dream and belong, champion bla Yumi. Now you may by continue along, build him up sport blow boxing.
Huxley Lovai, Trukai Sports.
That ends Trukai Sports. The weather report is next. All the details after the break.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports. This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus. With you always.
Regional weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby, Daru, Alotau and Popondetta, partly cloudy with patchy rain at times for Kerema. To the Momase region, Ley and Vanimo, partly cloudy with brief showers possible. Medang and Wewak, partly cloudy with few showers overnight. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms. Buka, cloudy periods with few showers. And in the Highlands region, all centers to expect partly cloudy with patchy rain, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus. With you always.
And that's the news, sports and weather for today, Sunday, the 31st of October 2021. Until then, pleasant viewing, be safe, bye for now.